welcome back to another episode of the Talk a Latte podcast with Christian and Jamie. But unfortunately, Christian is not here today, so you're just stuck with me as the host. But I do have two very special guests, one that you have met before, one that you have not met before, that I am joined with them today to talk about things to do in the fall in the local area. So first we will start off by introducing our guests. Mariana, if you want to start off.
Hi, my name is Mariana Nakashima, and I am the Administrative Assistant for the International Programs and Services Department, and I'm also your at DSO.
Okay, my name is Yaman, and I'm doing Masters at MTU. I have been at MTU for like 1 year so far. I am doing Masters in Data Science, and I have been joining way too many clubs and things, so I guess I'm kind of known at MTU.
But that's a good thing. We always talk about getting involved. So as I mentioned, we will be talking about things to do in the fall today. So we had our summer episode and things that we like to do in the summer, so now we're switching seasons and moving into the fall. So before we start off by talking about some of our activities that we like to do, first we'll talk about what the weather is like in the fall. So like I mentioned in a previous episode, Michigan, especially Houghton, we witness all 4 seasons. And so fall, I know, is Christian's favorite, and I think it's also mine and probably most of ours in here. But what is the weather like in the fall? What can we expect coming into this time of the year?
Well, I would say it's kind of very nice. It's a bit hot since like morning times, but it's like when it gets like the nighty times or like the night times, it's actually quite really nice that you can go out and enjoy.
I love like how crisp the air starts feeling, like no longer like this warm air or too cold air that we have in the winter, but there's like a nice crisp. And the weather, like I just love fall and how it feels. It is true. Like I can see what is everybody's favorite here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I agree. It's like that season where in the morning it's kind of chilly, midday it's really nice and warm, but then it cools off at night, and I know that I hate sleeping when it's hot. So I definitely enjoy the cycle of the fall temperatures.
Also, what you will see is that, of course, you have been seeing this, but the days will become much, much shorter. So no longer you will be like bright outside at 5:30 anymore. Like it will be more like at 7:30, 8. As we get through the winter, of course, the days will be shorter and shorter.
Definitely. And with that being said, Yaman, I don't know if you want to touch on this, but since we talk about how it could be very cold or warm during a typical fall day, what are the types of things that you wear for clothing in the fall?
I would say not go really heavy on it, but not a tank top, of course. Like you should keep it kind of like t-shirt, maybe some long sleeves. But I would say just in case, you should have a hoodie like as a backup hoodie, because like sometimes at night it does get chilly if you're not careful.
I always make the joke that in the fall when I'm going to work, I turn on my heat in my car on the way to work, and then I turn on my AC on the way home because it's really cold in the mornings. But and I know with fall, it's a bit difficult to gauge really how long fall is, because it really depends on our area, because winter's slowly coming. So from your guys' experience, when do you feel like we normally start seeing the snow? What month?
So personally, I noticed that downstate, for example, winter will start on Thanksgiving, but here it definitely starts on Halloween. Like I feel like for the last 12 years that I have been here, I bet you like 8 of those, like the first time it snowed, it was on Halloween. So I will say winter. To me, winter is when the snow starts. So to me, winter starts on Halloween.
Right, definitely. I remember growing up for Halloween, going out trick-or-treating. We'll talk about Halloween as well coming up, but I used to be in my Halloween costumes trick-or-treating, and I'd have to wear a winter jacket over it because it'd be snowing. But yeah, moving into, Halloween activities that happen during the fall, what are some of the activities that you guys like to do, or sites that you like to see as well?
Honestly, just like walking in town is enough to feel the Halloween, even though I had some finals and things like that at Halloween, so I was just mostly just at home. which kind of made me sad. But just looking outside my window, that was like enough to feel that I am in the Halloween holiday.
Yeah.
So I think what is beautiful here in the fall, especially, is the colors. Like because we have, it's quite unusual because we have these pine trees, but we also have lots of different tree varieties. So the colors will range from like bright yellow to dark green because that the dark green will be from the evergreen. So it's nice to see that contrast, and I think that you should get together with your friends and either go and do the fall tour with the grad school if you can, or maybe with the adventure crew, or yes, rent a car with friends or find a friend that has a car and go and tour the Keweenaw. Like beautiful places to see this will be definitely Brockway Mountain, Cliff Mine, Black Creek is another beautiful area that you walk through the forest and then you end up in Lake Superior. We call it the end of the Keweenaw because it's high rock. So, but for that you will need a bigger car, like an outdoorsy car. But there are people that have those. So hey, make friends, more to you. Isle Royale, I haven't been there, but of course it's fantastic. And the Lake of the Clouds, I love the Lake of the Clouds. It's such an easy drive, such an easy walk, but the view that you see is absolutely fantastic. And what it is nice about Brockway Mountain and Lakes of the Clouds is that you're so high up, and then you see the landscape of the area, and it's just with all the contrast of colors and the water, it's just absolutely beautiful. Another things that we have are like the ski color tours that Mount Ripley, Mount Bohemia, and Porcupine Mountains offer. So those are really nice to see too. If you're not afraid of heights and you're okay hanging out of those ski lifts, then it's for you.
Right, yeah. And like Yaman said, you know, the episodes that we do like this where it's just so broad, like things to do, you know, we do mention, you know, obviously these options that Mariana just went through where you have to drive to, which is great. But like Yaman said, just walking downtown Houghton and seeing the views, like you can even see the beauty just from there. And I know my favorite thing about where our office is located is I look out my window in the fall and we can see right across by Mount Ripley and see the colors. And so no matter where you are, it's just such a beautiful view. And I like how you mentioned the ski hill color tours as well, because it is a lot of fun. For me, Mount Ripley is probably the best one because Mount Bohemia is very high up and very slow moving chairlift, so I get scared. But Yaman, have you ever had an experience to go to any of the ski hill color tours yet?
Not in the fall, unfortunately, but in winter, yes. Like,
Okay.
like you can go to ski or snowboard, but in the fall, unfortunately, not yet.
Yeah. Well, at least you're used to the chairlifts now, though, you know, so now you can go see the colors. And I know Farida, our producer, shout out to her again. She is here as well. I think she thinks she has an easy pass this time around because this will be her first fall, but I just had to shout her out as well because we appreciate everything she does. But another topic, kind of moving in chronological timeline order, we've already touched a little bit on Halloween and what that is. So, Mariana, for people that may not even know what Halloween is, what is like a broad description of what people do in the United States on Halloween? And obviously, different cultures do it different ways, but what do we see the most?
Well, we really is made for children, but I guess everybody becomes a child on Halloween, and we can dress up as however we want to be. Then kids usually are the ones that go houses to houses and to ask for candy. So it's just a fun experience. I think especially kids love it. And so the ones of you that have young children, make sure that you participate in these events. There's also something called Safe Street. It's one the weekend before Halloween, and it will happen in downtown Houghton, where all this business open up and give candies. The streets are closed so the kids can safely walk around, and it's just such a beautiful thing for kids to see and do, and they just get super excited and hyped for the real Halloween. So it's like a pre-Halloween event.
Yeah, definitely. Yaman, back in your home country, is there anything similar that you did for Halloween, or, you know, what were your expectations coming to the United States about Halloween and the holiday?
Well, I live in the Middle East, so mostly we don't have any of these holidays. We only have two, and one is like usually involves just sharing food with with other people, but we don't have any costumes or anything to make fun of. So usually it's just hanging out.
Yeah.
So I would say US is a more active in terms of like actual things to see and do, unlike my home country. Also, like we have a lot of sand, unlike in here, so we don't see colors. It's just a sad, sandy area.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like US is very different from my home country. I can like say that for sure.
Yeah, and like Mariana said, it is mostly for kids, but like I know I get super excited. Like even just to hand out candy at my house, or occasionally if there's an opportunity to dress up. I think Mariana and I had worn like wigs or something last Halloween, or I dressed
Exactly.
up as a football player or something. So we always make it fun, and yeah, there are so many things to do. Like Mariana mentioned, Treat Street, is a big thing. Michigan Tech also does a safe house where they put on like a haunted dorms, I guess you could call it, where you can walk through the dorm halls and they'll scare you. And I personally love stuff like that. I love scary movies, and that's a great time for it as well. But Yaman, I have to know, have you dressed up for Halloween while you've been here?
No, unfortunately.
You have to.
Are you going to dress up this year?
Well, my family and my home country would be disappointed if I did that.
They don't need to know.
I have to stick to it. Like I have to stick to the boring style of my home country.
Your
I guess.
IPS family will be proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So along with Halloween as well, obviously I already mentioned briefly haunted houses, but another popular activity, and this is for Halloween in terms of the haunted aspect, but it's really just a fall activity in general, but corn mazes are a very popular thing. So Mariana, do you know of any in the area that provide corn mazes or have those corn fields that you can stop and visit?
Absolutely. My favorite is Palasari Corn Maze. It's in Chassel. It's not really far from the university. They do such a wonderful job. And they used to be my students in Chassel too, so I love those kids. Their family is a fantastic family, and they really work hard to make a beautiful corn maze. And after that, they have apple cider and donuts and things like that. So it's like a whole event.
Yeah, apple is definitely like a fruit staple of the fall. I feel like there's apple picking, apple cider, which I love. I don't know if any of you have had apple cider. Have you had apple cider, Yaman?
No, unfortunately.
Okay. So Mariana, I have to ask you this then, since I assume you've had it. Are you a cold apple cider or a hot apple cider?
I'm a cold apple cider.
Okay. Respect. See, this is why we work together. I agree. Like apple cider is like apple juice, but like spicy. It's got a little spice to it, and like it's mostly supposed to be served hot, I guess, because it's kind of getting colder. But cold is definitely the go-to. Cold with donuts.
And talking about apple trees, I want to let everybody know that I pointed to Farida what apple trees look like in the spring, and she has been like making a mental map of where the apples are. And I think she's going to go crazy this fall picking apples for the whole winter, and she's just going to make all type of delicious things with apples for all of us.
And then I think she's going to be on our podcast next year to talk about it. Anyway, moving on. Another, I guess, food item that we could talk about pertaining to Halloween are pumpkins. So what are the significance of pumpkins around Halloween? Like, what do we do with them? Like, are there places we can get them?
I think like Michigan Tech has competitions for like who can like make the best one, and like I have seen some really nice ones around the campus. So I would say like this is a must that you should either join or just go to see.
Yeah.
Like if you get a chance to.
And you mean pumpkin carving, right?
Yeah.
So make it scary, and then you put a light inside. So when you're carving it, you kind of have to see too as well, how is it going to look in the dark? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes people carve it all the way where they make like a scary face, or sometimes they carve halfway, so they have like different colors and like layers. So it can be very interesting.
Yeah, I believe what Yaman's talking about, I think the mud board is the one that maybe puts on that pumpkin carving competition. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'm sure in the student scoop that SLI puts out around the time of fall and the time of Halloween, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of things on campus. So definitely check them out. And Mariana mentioned the corn mazes, and there are some corn mazes that do haunted corn mazes as well, which is so much fun, but also terrifying. But that's my favorite part about the Halloween, but...
Talking about terrifying, another good one is like the Haunted Mine Tour at Quincy Mine, which is not that far. I really think IPS should have like a program where we can go and meet there. At least everybody can meet there and we can go together. But I tell you, when I get scared, I scream so hard that the person that was trying to scare me in the mine, I think I'd really freak him out.
She is the haunted house.
I became the haunted person.
But the mine too, like I feel like the scenarios that you're put in with those situations, like the mine can already be creepy as it is. Like
the mine is creepy.
I don't know why, but I can like try to imagine a very high pitched like yell from inside the mine. I would just be running outside.
It's their fault. They came behind me trying to scare me, so I screamed so hard and they ran away.
That's what people do, though. Like, I think that's like a comforting tactic for our own person is like scaring them. It's like that superiority. Like, you can't scare me. I'm gonna scare you.
My pitch is higher than yours.
Another thing that we've talked about many times on this podcast is the Northern Lights. And obviously, during many seasons, we can see the Northern Lights. Yam and I have to know, have you seen the Northern Lights yet?
Oh, yeah, like
you have.
A lot of times.
Awesome. Where were you when you saw them?
Multiple points, but the main one was the Princess Point. But since I bought like a vehicle, I can like go like really far away to the head of the UP. Mm-hmm. Which is like a 30 to 45-minute drive, and it just looks amazing from there.
Definitely. And where is Princess Point for some of our listeners that may not know where that is?
Princess Point is like heading east from campus, just about 10 to 15 minutes. It's like on the lakeshore side.
Mm-hmm. And obviously we do have these main things to do in the fall, like Halloween celebrations, pumpkin patches, apple picking, but there are some other things in the local area, different events that we would like to highlight as well in this podcast, because these are typically annual events that we have running. And so the first one is, I'm saying this one first because I'm from Dollar Bay, but there is something called Bash at the Bay, which this year is on September 6th. And what this is it's in the town of Dollar Bay at Julio's Yard.
I think that Hancock also has like a yearly event that like happens. It's kind of a Rickfest, I guess. That does happen in Hancock. And when I came to the US, like this is my second week and I don't know anybody, but I saw this like thing that you should like go to it, and I went there. Like it was something very new to me, and I was like, I believe I was the only non-US guy in there just watching this like thing event, and it was so cool. Mm-hmm. Like I would advise anyone to go to it. Unfortunately, I don't fully remember the name of it though.
And what do they do there?
It's like it's like a park, but they have something called the Demolition Derby.
Okay. Oh, was it the fair?
Yeah.
They do in Hancock.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, the Houghton County Fair. Yeah, so that is actually normally at the end of August. I believe this year it's August 24th, I want to say. So this, with every year in the area, we have the Houghton County Fair, which, as Yaman mentioned, they have like a demolition derby. I think they have like race car drivers there.
And
monster cars.
Monster trucks. Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Animals.
And they also have like typical like fair things. They have the fair food. Elephant ears are my favorite. Did you try any of the food when you were there?
No.
No? You gotta try it. You gotta try an elephant.
I was like still kind of knowing what US is, so I'm just keeping my distance.
Yeah. But it's pretty much typical fair things where, you have a bunch of rides, a bunch of food. So like Yaman said, it was all new to you, but that is like probably the most United States thing that you probably came upon in the first few days that you were here. But Bash at the Bay, I have to mention this one because I'm from Dollar Bay. This year it is on September 6th. And in Dollar Bay, it is located at Julio's Boatyard. And pretty much it's kind of like a you can assume by the word bash. It's like a concert series. They have quite a few different bands, and it's actually pretty cool because Dollar Bay is like a smaller town, and so having that there is really cool because it kind of brings some life and excitement where normally we don't have that much foot traffic and traffic in town. But are there any other local events or things that happen in the fall that you can think of that you think would be worth people checking out?
Yeah, sure. So we have the Youth Fest under Orpheum Theater. That will be September 19 and 20. And talking about September 20th is Parade of Nations, which is like a really beautiful event for all internationals and everybody in the area to welcome our new international students. So you will walk your flag and your sign through the town and then end up at the D Stadium, where it will be a festival of music from different countries and also food from different countries that you can purchase. So it will be a wonderful event for you to join. You really would like to do it. So make sure that you mark your calendars for September 20th. Also, there's this thing at the Rose Center called the 41 North Film Festival. That's really an excellent thing to do. And as you know now, the Rosés pay as you're able. So if you're not able to pay for the whole entrance, you can just pay as you're able, of course, as it says. And then you can join and participate.
Yeah, and I think another thing, what I really enjoy during the fall is the Houghton Fall Fest. This year, it looks like it's on October 7th at 11 p.m., 11 to 2. It's normally a few hours. And this kind of wraps up everything that we've already kind of talked about on what happens in the fall. So this year, it's their second annual. It's on the Houghton Pier. They have wagon rides, so you can ride with the horses on the wagon. They have pumpkins there, apple cider again, donuts. I don't know why, but donuts and apple cider are always like the big thing in the fall. And there's also live music, so that's kind of a quick day during the day thing that'll be a lot of fun. So Farida, you better check that out. Oktoberfest is another thing. Obviously, we're kind of moving what that is in Germany kind of to the United States, so that is also something that happens in the fall in Houghton as well. And something that I added to on this list when I was thinking of things that I like to do in the fall. It's not necessarily something that I did, but it's what one of my friends did, actually, so I'm shouting him out a little bit. But when he went to Michigan Tech, he took a girl on a date to the top of Mount Ripley, and they could see the fall colors, obviously. Like, it was in the evening, so the sunset, so shout out to him if he's listening. But, you know, just stuff like that doesn't really take much effort to throw together, and you could do it wherever. But, Yaman, I know we talked a little bit about some things that you can do in the fall that are more close to campus for those that may not have transportation. Are there any go-to spots that you think people should visit, or any places you can walk to that you think are nice to see?
Well, I would say, like, Michigan Tech has the Michigan Tech Trails thingy that you can, like, actually rent boats and bikes. And it's not really far away from campus as well, so like and it's very cheap. It's like $5 to $15 as like max. And I would say this is something that everyone must go and actually like check out. And there's I think the biking trails, and there's like some kayaks, bath or something. Like you can just go there, and there will be a lot of options that like you can see and you can do.
Definitely, like we talked about in maybe the Culture Shock episode. Like if you're looking for a big city with a lot of shopping malls, this isn't the place for you. Outdoors and nature, especially in the fall, is so beautiful. But shifting gears a little bit, we already talked about Halloween is one of the big holidays that we celebrate in the fall season here, but another big one is Thanksgiving. So for some of those that are from countries that don't celebrate Thanksgiving, which is probably everyone but the United States, what is Thanksgiving? What is the purpose of Thanksgiving?
Well, I guess the purpose of Thanksgiving is being grateful for the harvest, right? Like if you go back, but I think it's just being grateful to what we have been given this year, and be ready for probably colder months that are coming. But it's about getting together with family and friends and appreciate each other and what we have done for each other, and just be grateful, I guess.
And I know we talked about this in our IPS events podcast episode as well, but Friendsgiving is an event that we have this time of the year. Normally it's like a week or two before Thanksgiving just to make sure everyone is here, but we put on a typical American Thanksgiving meal. So turkey, some families do ham. I know I'm a ham person, but turkey is like the traditional one. Mashed potatoes, stuffing, cranberry sauce. That's a whole other debate on whether or not people like cranberry sauce. And we have that. We have that Thanksgiving. We call it Friendsgiving celebration. So that way for our students that aren't going home over the short break but are still here, they can experience what Thanksgiving is like and experience some of the traditional foods as well. So we obviously have a lot of great events, but that also is another one of my favorite because it helps our students learn about, our culture and our holidays. Yaman, were you at Friendsgiving last year?
Yeah, I think I was with the Michigan Tech rowing club team.
Oh.
Friendsgiving, like they have their own thing, I guess. I would say like Friendsgiving is the best way to meet new faces and get to meet new people that like you can actually hang out with and be friends with.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite food item that you had?
Mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah.
It's a meat.
That's my favorite.
Our Friendsgiving was very successful last year. I mean, it's always successful, but last year we had about 300 students, and there was food for everybody, and everybody enjoyed a good meal. And even if you are vegetarian or you have dietary restrictions, we're pretty good about offering different items. So there will be something for everybody.
Definitely. Is there anything else that you guys can think of? I know we've talked about a wide range of things, but I feel like we covered a lot of the important ones. But are there any other activities or must-see places that you guys can think of that you've experienced?
I would say try to get as much of the UP before the winter hits, because when winter hits, like you're gonna regret not going out before that.
Definitely.
Enjoy many spots in Thanksgiving because you might want to see it how it looks in the fall. Like maybe go to a close waterfall or Broadway Mountain and things like that. Do it in the fall and do it in the winter because what you're going to see is that it's so different depending on the season. And I think like winter and fall personally are the best seasons here. And I think enjoying that at those times, even going to the beach, how the beach changes. Like in the fall, you definitely can get a black flashlight and then look for Upper lights. Where in the winter, you won't be able because there's ice underneath the rocks. So there will be ice on top of the rocks. So make sure that you enjoy every single place that becomes your favorite at different seasons because it will be very different. And it's just nice to see that change.
Definitely.
And I can say for sure that nobody has seen 100% of the UP. There's always things to see, and there's always some hidden gems that people can just walk and see it.
Definitely, yeah. And like you said, you walk somewhere around campus and you're like, whoa, I've never been here. Like I know you mentioned by Princess Point, you can kind of walk on that trail along the water, and so in the fall it might be a beautiful sight, or you might be able to see the sunset or even the sunrise. I'm not up early enough for that, but I know that there are definitely many things to see and many things to do, especially during the fall. So definitely get out there and do that. Join us, obviously, with our events, Parade of Nations. Thanks, Parade of Nations, Friendsgiving. Definitely join us, and hopefully you can experience Halloween, if you've not already. And yeah, I'd like to thank my guests today for joining me. Thank you for filling in for Christian and chatting with me today. We really appreciate it. And yeah, definitely reach out to us if you need any more ideas of things to do in the fall. But otherwise, we will see you next time for another episode of the Talk a Latte podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you.
This has been an IPS production with Michigan Tech University. If you would like to be featured in a future episode, reach out to us at ips@mtu.edu or come to our office in the administration building. Bye!